Hi, welcome to my channel, Takoyaki Tarot. Today is July 31st, Thursday, 2025. So before I get started, I want to remind anyone that's watching that these messages are not going to resonate with everyone, and that's okay. If they resonate with you, gives you clarity, great. If it does not, then don't force it to be your story. Okay, so I know I should not be drinking Red Bull, but I like the way it tastes. So, hold on. Okay, I'm back. Alright, let me start off with Seasons of the Witch, because I feel like it's now appropriate. It's getting to that point where it's not appropriate to use this deck. I mean, I already started using the deck anyways, but August is tomorrow. August, okay? August is tomorrow. Like, just think about that. The June, July is done. It's now August. And then next thing you know, it's going to be September. I mean, obviously that's how it works. But it's just when you really think about how fast, right? I feel like time goes by fast when you're having fun. Like, I truly believe that, because I just feel like I can't believe like August is gonna be here tomorrow, you know? I don't know if I did my intro, but before I get started, I want to remind anyone that's watching that these messages are not going to resonate with everyone, and that's okay. If they resonate with you, gives you clarity, great. If it does not, then don't force it to be your story. Alright. Alright, sorry, I'm like distracted. So that's probably why like cards aren't coming out. Alright, give me a second. Alright, let me get 3 cards. Alright. 1, Rebirth. Thank you. Ooh, Banshee is out. That's the second card. And I feel like the reason why Banshee, I just got the goosebumps. This is for you, collective. But like, not like in a spooky way, but like more like the reason why Banshee is out is because you've gone through, I just seen 303. You have gone through a rebirth. So Banshee is here to basically be like, so what's up? Not my baby, not my collective, right? Maybe before you were less protected because you were less aware. You were more accepting, more open, right? You were more inviting, right? To oh my god, to those certain negative energies, people's, places, mindsets, habits, indulgements, addictions, things like that, right? So obviously it would be a little bit more difficult for your team to protect you in the physical because you weren't exactly doing it yourself either, right? That's why I keep saying God helps those who helps themselves. Let me get, because I gotta, hold on. So I'm going to read the cards, okay? You got to give me a second, though, because I have just so many things right now. Hold on. Oh, okay, that's why. Alright. Okay. Sorry, give me like 1 second. 108. Um, I'm like really about to just. Alright, so anyways, so yeah, rebirth, there's death and all that awakens, for it isn't blissful nor painless, as a mighty rising of flame resurrected, right? That was the first card, rebirth. So you went through this rebirth, you went through like a major cutoff game, like your cutoff game could be something that is, it leaves people very impressed, like wow, okay, like it's nothing to be joking around with, right? And because of that, it's like, you are doing what you have to do in the physical, so spiritually that just makes it easy. It's like slicing butter on a hot summer day. That's how easy it is for your spiritual team, angels, ancestors, spirits of the highest white light. And I don't want to say this because it sounds so like it's a controversial thing to say, but not everybody's team is different. Okay, so let me just say that everybody's team is different. Okay, there are, like, banshees are seen as very evil, malicious, malignant kind of spirits, entities, whatever, right? But that's just usually because of how they operate, okay? But they're all for you, collective. If you have banshees on your side, it's so I feel like speaking on this is almost taboo, right? Not everybody on your team is love and light. You have some that are very malicious and cutthroat, right? That are just more like, let me put hands and feet on this person. And you have some on your team that are more like, well, we have rules to abide by, okay? So I just want to say that because that's just how it is. It's true, right? I mean, there's obviously like a hierarchy and all that, whatever, okay? Banshee, heed my warning, dear child. Dear child, for what I hold is far from unsung lullabies. Swallow a nail, and you can expect bleeding from within. I'm getting, there's something in the background where someone is expecting not mercy, have mercy, not mercy, but they're expecting leniency, like a smack on the wrist when it comes to you. Like, this could be somebody that was doing the most when it comes to you. And they're expecting or hoping for leniency to just, like, let's say this person stole trillions of dollars from you, tried to destroy your reputation, tried to unalive you, tried to frame you, tried to do this, tried to do that, right? And they're just hoping for maybe like 1 month in jail. They're expecting leniency, like a smack on the wrist. That's what they're hoping. But Banshee just said, for what I hold is far from unsung lullabies. Like, they're not, whoever is expecting or they're anticipating leniency may be because they're trying to pull from you, from who you were before you had a rebirth. So that's why okay, thank you. Okay, I did a reading not too long ago where it was talking about how a karmic person, I think it was a woman, could be masculine for whoever you are, 906. This person, they are expecting to be able to pull from you emotionally, or they're expecting some sort of reaction or something, hoping to pull from you emotionally, but they're not realizing that is not, it's non-existent. It's not existent. That the emotions that you had for that person is non-existent, and that's why they're expecting leniency from you, your team, right? That's why, because they're trying to pull from that. But that's been burned up into flames. That you does not exist. That's been burned up. It's just not. So I feel like these banshees, it's multiple, are waiting on standby. I've been getting this energy of banshees waiting on standby. Basically, essentially, too, banshees, it's right. You'll know because they have like this really nasty, blood curdling scream, cry kind of thing, and then they just suck your soul. Okay, so these banshees are just waiting. Okay, let me get one more. Thank you. All Hallows Eve in reverse. So somebody, okay, if somebody did Halloween magic, oh my gosh. If somebody tried to use All Hallows Eve or Samhain, right? If somebody tried to do a spell or something last Halloween, which would be 2024, Halloween of 2024, they were expecting, they did some sort of spell work or magic, right? It didn't work, not happening. This person could also be, oh, that's why. Because you have someone that's going to try to use Halloween of this year to do some sort of magic, but because you went through a rebirth, it's not going to work. So I guess Banshee is just waiting, like, you know, just waiting, like they have, whoever's doing the spell work, they're just waiting. Alright, so as soon as they start doing their potions, bubble, toil, and trouble, as soon as they finish their incantations and whatever, that's when Banshee's going to swoop in and do what they got to do. Alright? That's what Banshees are waiting for. Because these people, this person, hello, August is tomorrow. August, September, October, in 3 months. Right? And this also has to do with your harvest. Okay? Because you've been working all year. Alright? Your harvest is ready for the proper season. It's August, September, October. That's the, November. No. September, October, November. The last 2 weeks of August, and then September, October, November, and then the last 2 weeks of November would start off, I feel like it's more like starting off the winter season, okay? But they're going to use, it's because you have a harvest this autumn season, okay? You have that. You get to reap your harvest. So you're going to be comfortable in the winter. You're going to be fine in the winter. You're going to be good in the winter. So whoever's attempting to do this magic is so that way they can be fine in the winter. But it's not going to happen. They just have, Banshee's just like, okay, so I just have to wait for them to do this magic. And then that's it. And the higher ups are just like, yeah, just when they do that magic, because they're going to do that magic against the collective. So when they do that, you know what you do. Just kind of swoop in and do what you got to do. Alright? All Hallows Eve. Call upon the voices that stir your senses through the night. Cast an unforgiven howl as you stomp your might through the ground. This is somebody who feels like they have a lot of power and position, and they do not. Call upon the voices that stir your senses through the night. This is someone who's very delusional, because I feel like whatever they're hearing and listening is actually, it's very demonic and negative. Alright, they can be, it's something about frequencies. Okay, they're, whatever messages that they're getting, or whatever guidance that they're getting, is actually very, I'm getting low down and dirty, very negative, very demonic. It's not of the highest white light. Why? How do I know? Because they're attacking you. Nobody, right? No white light is going to tell you, attack that person so you can steal their harvest. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. That's not God. That's not of the highest white light. That's not the most high God. God's not going to tell you to deliberately attack someone to steal from them. That's crazy pants stuff. This is someone who's very delusional, right? They're being guided to do this. Cast an unforgiven howl as you stomp your might through the ground. That's what it says. This is someone who really feels like they're doing something. They really feel like they're doing something because they feel like they have power, but it's like not even their magic, it's not even their power. This is borrowed magic, borrowed time. Alright? They're getting false, it's like they're being hyped up by demons. Like, yeah, you can steal their magic, yeah, you can steal their harvest, yeah, you got this. They're being hyped up by demonic entities. Right? Like, who else is going to tell you to go out of your way to attack someone, to steal from them? Who would do that? The devil. That's not of the highest white light. That's not. Okay, this person's very delusional. They're gonna do this. It's not gonna work. And as soon as they go through with this, which they will, because they swear they have the power to do this, alright? I keep getting a karmic feminine. They swear they have the power to do this, and Banshee's just waiting. Look at Banshee. Look at how unbothered, nonchalant. Right, it's like a grandma waiting for her pie to bake in the oven, right? She's just waiting for the timer to go off so that way she can open up the oven, take out the pie, and put it on the windowsill. She's just waiting, right? And then when that pie cools off, she's going to call you up. Hi, my sweet grandchild, I made you a pie. I can't wait to deliver it for you, right? This is essentially that, right? This is like, for some of you, this could be like a deceased grandmother figure that's just waiting for someone to mess with their baby, right? I'm only laughing because, like, I used to have this running joke with my grandmother, She's not alive anymore. But oh my god, it's so nice and soft. Look at that. That's a peach. It's just so good. It only took 1 day for these to like get soft. Okay. You ever bite into a peach and it's like hard? I don't like hard peaches. It's just so soft. It's just like, look at it right there. Alright. It's not as juicy as I thought it was going to be, but that's okay. That's okay. It's still good. Okay? It's still good. I know it's actually very counterproductive. I'm eating a peach and I'm drinking Red Bull, right? But, you know, that's my prerogative. It's actually a really good peach, though. That part was a little sour. I should have given it like another day. I think that's why. Because the sour part is a lot more like juicier. Yeah. Okay, so I just learned something new. Yeah. So I feel like it's in that stage where it's just starting to soften up. So that's probably why it's like that. Yeah, that makes sense. You can see the color difference too. Like, it's a lot like, I don't know, lighter here, and then this one is like a lot more softer and juicier. You see? And then this one is like a little bit more firm. Yeah, I should give it like another day. Yeah. Yeah! See this part, all of that dark part right here, the dark yellow? That's more juicy and sour. It has more flavor. I just learned something new about peaches. That's cool. I thought as soon as it started being soft, it was ready, but actually, I mean, technically it is, but I should give it like another day or two to get that juicy, you know, flavor, feel. Alright. All Hallows Eve, call upon the voices that stir your senses through the night. Cast an unforgiven howl as you stomp your might through the ground. Yeah. I'm getting like a fake witch bitch. This is someone who feels like they're a witch, or like this is someone who I'm getting someone who will like stand outside when it's really windy and they'll look like they're charging themselves up, but it's just like it's so Hollywood. It's so phony, fake. It's not like anyways. I just smelled chlorine. The archangels have been summoned. They are here. And that fell on top of the All Hallows Eve card. Yeah. You are very protected. Whoever this person is, they got into the ring with the wrong team, because it's like you're not even in the ring. You don't have to be in the ring. You got banshees. You've got archangels. You've got, excuse me, your ancestors. You're very well protected. You're very well cared for, is what I'm getting. You're very well cared for, right? And I feel like you always had this available to you, but because, like I said before you went through this rebirth, it was difficult because you were so accepting, inviting. You had addictions, habits, mindsets, family, friends, connections, partnerships, relationships that were just not, you know, it was just not good for you. So it's kind of like, how can they protect you in an environment where you're being attacked and you're staying in that environment, right? It's, you know, it's kind of like, you see what I'm saying? I feel like, I want to say the word discouraging, right? But it's just, I'm hearing, thank God. Thank God you went to this rebirth. Thank God. Alright? Thank God. Thank the Most High God, man. The W could be somebody's first, last, middle, initial name of a word, the right place. But I feel like this is you just having wins. You're just winning in life. Alright? I'm also getting the World card. You're closing out cycles. And I'm also getting the Wheel of Fortune. The World card in Tarot, the Wheel of Fortune in Tarot. Because you closed out cycles willingly, right? The W word. 2112 I just seen. Because you willingly closed out cycles. This was of your own volition. You chose to do this. Right? Nobody forced you. That's the major rule is free will. Alright? That's why it's like, thank God. Thank God, right? You willingly chose to close out these cycles of your own volition. And I don't even think you understood how serious that choice of yours was. Because when you decided to do that, it catapulted you into this rebirth, alright? And it kind of like, okay, now your Wheel of Fortune is going. Now, right, that Wheel of Fortune that was collecting dust and started getting rusty, and it's like it was being held up by like a stick and a rock, and all you had to do was kick that stick and rock, and now the wheel is turning fast and fast and fast, right? I'm getting like wheels turning so fast that you can see like the metal sparks coming from it. That's your Wheel of Fortune. That's how fast it's turning for you. All you had to do was just kick that stick that was blocking it, that was keeping it stuck, right? And these were the choices that you made. You got rid of things that was keeping you stuck. But I don't think you understood or you knew the consequences of that. Every action you make has an equal and opposite reaction, okay? The consequences of you willingly choosing to end out these cycles, the consequence of that was your Wheel of Fortune turning in your favor, okay? There are consequences to everything, good and bad consequences. That's just how it is. And fortunately, no pun intended, fortunately for you, it just started catapulting your Wheel of Fortune. It kept turning and turning and turning. That was the consequence. That was a good consequence, all right? But I don't think you understood that. I think for you, it was just more like, I can't do this anymore. I gotta end this. I gotta stop this. I gotta end this. I gotta be free. I gotta be happy. I gotta be healthy. Not even realizing that, okay. Little does a collective know, right? It's so crazy because I feel like this banshee kind of looks like my grandmother. It's the mouth. Protect your blessings, right? And I feel like that's what Banshee is here to help you do. All right, protect your blessings because I feel like you could already be aware of this. You could be picking up on this. I'm getting High Priestess and Tarot. That I feel like there's always some bold fake witch bitch that's trying to do magic on Halloween, right? Not just for the aesthetics, but for the dramatics. Okay, they're trying to do it on Halloween, blah, 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 blah. And this is someone that could have been doing this for a very long time or not realizing that you're not magical at all. That's borrowed magic. And because you're borrowing that magic, you don't even realize that you just agreed to borrowed time. That's how that works. Right? Oh, it broke in half. Wow, look. Look at how clean that seed is. Look. Look at how clean that is. Wow. Look at that peach pit. How clean is that? Wow. I'm keeping this. This is mine now. That is so cool. Wow. How cool is that? Wow. Look at the colors. It's like fall. I just fell off my computer. How pretty is that? Can I eat this part? See, that's how I want it to be, like that dark yellow. It's like juicy and glistens, you see? Like that. I'm the only one that touches my cards, so I don't care if they're sticky. That is so cool. What can I put this? Wow. I'm so impressed by that. That is a good sized peach pit. I'm pretty sure this is just like a normal average sized peach pit. But I'm impressed by this. This is cool. Wow. Oh, this is so nice. I'm keeping this. That's mine now. Alright. Protected blessings, yeah. You're being aware of these things so that way you can protect your blessings, alright? Somebody could also be trying to do magic to, like, get you to be more agreeable to them, alright? Especially during the winter season, right? Christmas cheer, singing loud for all to hear, hot cocoa, songs, oh, Christmas tree, how lovely are your branches. I feel like someone's going to try to utilize that energy. The other reading I did, it was like someone's going to utilize the energy to try to like tell you something, alright? Maybe confess their feelings, but that's still going to happen. But on the other hand, you also have someone that's going to try to like get you to be more agreeable to them so that way you can share your harvest, allow them into your home, give to them. Don't. But you already know this, so I don't think that's anything for you to be concerned about. End of karmic cycle, yeah. This is what you've been doing. And because you willingly closed out these cycles on your end, like you made the conscious choice and decision to do so, I don't want this anymore. That right there, that's enough. That's enough. You saying no is enough. You have to say it. No. Okay? So that right there is the end of karmic cycles. You learned what you had to learn. You ended these cycles. You went through your rebirth. All you really have to do is just protect your blessings. That's it. You were made to shine. You were made to shine. Alright? You were made to shine, collective. And it says, I secretly love you. So, my elbow is burning. Somebody secretly loves you. This could be the person that's going to... Not this person. The person that... they're going to confess their feelings to you. Alright? There's somebody that wants to confess their emotions and their feelings to you. And they can see you shining. They know that you are a rare gem. I don't know why I wanted to say it like that, because I feel like it's corny to say it like that. But there's a person that sees your value. They see you as a rare gem. They see you shining, and they know that you were made to shine, and you're always going to be shining. They secretly love that about you. I feel like the more you shine, it's like a moth to a flame. The brighter you are in the dark. Right? The brighter you are in the dark, the more things are attracted to you, including this person. Karmic debt resolved. Look! Karmic debt resolved. You paid your dues. So these karmic cycles, they were able to end. Right? Karmic debt resolved. You, my baby. I feel like God is looking at you as my baby. I feel like I said that because as soon as I said this, the first thing I can think of was my child. And how I just wanted to like hug her. Right? I feel like that's how your team feels about you. Like, my baby, I just want to like let me hug you because I'm just so proud of you. Alright? That's why I keep saying thank God. Thank God. The letter H could be somebody first, last, middle, initial, name of a word or a place. But I feel like you have the authority. You have every right. You have permission to be happy. You deserve to be happy. Your light bothers their demons. Yeah, the more you shine in the dark, the more things are attracted to you. And a lot of the things that are attracted to you, it's because if you're shining in the dark, it gives them, you know, every time I get this scenario, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Insidious. First of all, I love the whole Insidious movies, 1, 2, 3, 4. I love them all. I actually haven't seen the 4th one, but I love all the Insidious movies. I do, right? I haven't really watched horror movies in a couple of years. I have reasons for that, but I do love horror movies. Not blood and gore, right? The really psychological, spooky, right? That bump in the night kind of stuff. I love it. I love it. All right, so there's a series of movies called Insidious by James Wan, right? It was delicious. All right, anyways, I think it's the second one, right? When he's in the spirit realm, but he's outside of the house, in the spirit world. He's outside of the house, and it's dark. It's all dark. He can't really see, right? But there's all these spirits around him, and I think he has like a light or something, and he uses the light. And they all, like, he can see all the spirits around him, and they all start, like, crowding him. This is what I'm getting. You're like this light in the darkness, and all of these things are going towards you, right? You have good things, and then you have bad things. And the good things, you're helping them, guiding them, all right? That's a whole nother thing. I'm not going to get into that part of the reading, all right? But this is why your light bothers demons, because you're helping people. Because you went through this massive rebirth, you're helping people find their light and guiding them back home, essentially. Alright, guiding them back home to source, to light, right? So that way they can be at peace and be happiness, right? Because the more you do that, the less these demons and negative entities are able to attach, can feed, can control, can manipulate, right? It's getting harder and harder and harder for these entities to do this, right? And here you are, you're guiding people, you're helping people. I don't want to go to jail, avoiding justice. So whoever this person is, that's what I'm getting, because in the beginning of the reading, wait, what was I saying? Yeah, you're guiding people. They don't like that, whatever. Anyways, moving on. I'm over that. In the beginning of the reading, I mentioned how somebody is they're expecting leniency, like a smack on the wrist. For everything that they've done, all the magic that they've done, all the manipulation, all the corruption, blah, blah, blah. They're expecting leniency, right? I don't want to go to jail. They're avoiding justice. So whoever this karmic feminine or masculine or karmic group of people, they're trying to avoid jail by trying to pull on your heartstrings to get a more lenient sentence, a smack on the wrist, or to avoid justice altogether. So they're trying to, I feel like that's the whole point of this, to get you to be more agreeable to a situation, or to get you to be more agreeable to them, right? Because if you are emotionally, right, they're trying to tug on your heartstrings, but I don't think they don't understand those heartstrings don't exist anymore. They were burned up when you burned up into flame, when you went through your rebirth. All of your old was gone. It's no more, right? Including your old karmic ties, your karmic cycles. Like it says, karmic debt resolved, and a karmic cycle. So you don't have these emotional ties, these mental ties, these spiritual ties, these financial ties, these physical ties. You don't have those anymore. So whoever this person is, whoever these people are, they don't understand that, right? So that's why they feel like they can avoid justice by tugging on your heartstrings to be more agreeable to them. They don't understand those heartstrings don't exist. And the minute that they do this magic, you've got a whole spiritual team on standby. It's like they're being watched. It's like they're a sitting duck about to do whatever they're about to do, and you have a bunch of men in black. Yep. All right, ready to go? Let's go. Go in, right? And that's basically how that's gonna go. Here come the men in black. Right? Anyways. I keep seeing a bunch of guys in like suits and black sunglasses with the swirly earpiece. But whatever. I don't think they don't understand that you're not the one in charge of their justice. You're not the judge. You're not a judge, right? You can only be in judge of like what you personally decide for yourself. You cannot personally decide the fate of other people. That's not your job, right? You can only do that for yourself. And this person feels like if they tug on your emotional heartstrings, which are non-existent, they don't exist. If they feel like they can tug on your emotional heartstrings, you will change their judgment. That's not that's not how that works, my friend. Here come the man in black. All right, let me get 6 chords. If I have to tell you again. Someone could have like dry, itchy elbows. You ever look at someone's elbows and you're like, you should invest in some elbow cream, right? Not to be mean or anything, but I feel like someone has like really dry elbows. Like, go get your lotion, right? Get some lotion and moisturize your skin. I don't know how people can like be okay with dry skin. Like, that is so itchy and uncomfortable. We have the Empress in reverse. I told you I felt like this was a karmic feminine. This is an Empress in reverse and she's being watched. This woman is very, very lazy when it comes to her future, her goals, her ambitions, what she wants, her harvest. Very lazy. But it's so interesting because she has all the energy, all the time in the world to do all this magic to you, right? To get your harvest. But, I know, this is someone who literally has the seeds in their hands, the soil, right? I don't want to because then I have to wait. All you gotta do is just put it in the dirt and water it every day. That's all. Yeah, but it's just too much and I don't want to. And then I have to wait. Ugh. Waiting is exhausting. But you have all the time, all the energy, all the fortitude in the world to, you know, get all the ingredients, do all this spell work, say all these things, travel, right? To do this magic to get someone else's harvest. You have it all, right? You have all the... You're not lazy with that. You're not lazy with that. This is this Empress in reverse. This is a... Whoo boy. This woman has a lot of demons inside of her. And it really, really irritates her that you can shine, be unbothered, and that's it. All you gotta do is just be a shiny, you know, happy thing. And that's all you gotta do to be blessed? I mean, you gotta work your way to that, but kind of, that's pretty much it. Just be a shiny, happy thing, and, you know, love and light. This woman hates that. She hates that. She hates how... She hates how much work it requires, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, maybe even financially. She hates how much work it actually requires, right, to go through a rebirth, to even get to that point where you can be accepted to have a rebirth, right? Because you can't just one day wake up and be like, I want to have a rebirth, right? And still keep all of these karmic habits, connections, mindsets. No, that's not how it works. It's a process, right? It's kind of like applying for a job, right? You have to have the qualifications. This person does not have the qualifications. You're an Empress in reverse. You're trying to do magic to steal someone else's blessings. The reason why they have these blessings is because they went through a rebirth. The reason why they went through a rebirth is because they made the conscious decision of their own free will to end certain things, habits, mindsets, connections, things like that, right? You do that, you go up. You do that, you go up. You do that, you go up, right? That's how that works. I've been getting a lot of someone who wants to steal your position, but it's just not for them. They're not qualified for that. It's like, put it like this. Let's say, collective, you are bound for this an amazing inheritance because of your father or your mother, right? Because of that, you are bound for this inheritance, right? And let's say, hypothetically speaking, for the sake of the story, you are the only child, right? Let's say your father got remarried or your mother got remarried, right? And now your stepmother or your stepfather, right, kicked you out of the house, right? Because she wants that inheritance to go to her child, her son or her daughter, whatever the case it is, right? But your biological parents, mother, father, wants to give you the inheritance, right? And then your stepbrother, stepsister, whatever, they're mad at you because they want that inheritance, but spiritually, biologically, that doesn't belong to that stepchild. It belongs to the biological child. If the biological father and mother wants to give their inheritance to their biological child, there's nothing that can be done about that. But this is somebody, it may not be that story, but this is something where somebody wants your inheritance. They want your position. And it's just like, who told you that was yours? Who told you you can take someone else's blessings? That was never going to belong to you. If they weren't going to have it in this lifetime, it was going to be in the next lifetime, in the next lifetime, in the next lifetime. That will never go to this karmic feminine. This Empress in reverse, it's not going to go to them. This is not their position. This is not for them. Right? And it's crazy because this Empress in reverse, I keep getting this thing where, well, I'm just going to block them because if I can't have it, they can't have it. And that could have worked for a long time. But lo and behold, like I keep saying, thank God, thank God, thank God, you went through a rebirth, and now it's all yours. It's all yours. Right? This person was like, well, I want that, I want that. If they can't have it, you know, then if I can't have it, then they can't have it. And God's like, okay, well, if you're going to block them this lifetime, right? And that only happened because of how you were and where you were, right? And your connections and, like I said, right, your habits and addictions, right, of how you were, right? So it was very difficult for your team to, you know, do what they got to do. But so God's like, okay, well, if you're going to block them in this lifetime, well, then we'll see what happens in the next lifetime, right? If they do what they have to do, then it'll be theirs for sure, right? I feel like this Empress feels like they were doing something. I keep getting that. They feel like they were really doing something, right? But it was never their magic. It was you. You had to make the decision to end these cycles, these habits, these addictions, these sufferings, these traumatic responses. You had to make the decision to heal and end these karmic cycles, right? I feel like whoever this Empress in reverse is, she's really in for a very, very rude awakening. Hold on. Okay, sorry. My phone's been like so busy. In a good way. I forgot what I was saying. So I feel like it's this Empress in reverse that's afraid to go to jail because of all the things that they've been doing. I feel like they really thought they had the power to change your destiny. But it was never in their hands. Like I said, if you can't be the judge for someone else's fate, whoever this Empress in reverse is, obviously she can't even be the judge for her own fate. You think she could be the judge for your fate? No ma'am, no sir. That's not how that works. Okay? It's you. It's you. You have to decide for yourself what you want to do with yourself, for your future. Okay? Nobody else can do that. Yes, they can influence you. Oh, maybe you shouldn't. Or maybe you should. Oh, don't do this. Or don't do that. Right? But it's you. Ultimately, at the end of the day, whether you choose to, maybe I shouldn't. Or maybe I should. Or maybe I shouldn't. Right? It's you. You have to decide. You make the choices. But I feel like this is someone who really thought they had the power because this is someone who could have had a very heavy influence on you. Okay? Could be a mother figure. Or someone who's like really, really good at manipulating partnerships with that Libra energy. Okay? I'm also getting Taurus. Alright? Manipulating you, having a heavy influence on you to gain what you have, to get what you have. But it's so interesting too because what was always going to be yours, what is always yours, was never going to be this person's. Your inheritance was always going to be your inheritance. And I feel like the biggest illusion of all, the biggest joke of all, was that this person was under an illusion that they had the power to change destiny, to change fate. If it didn't happen in one lifetime, it was going to repeat, right? It was going to repeat. That's how these things work. I feel like this is someone who followed you for a very, very long time. Not just physically out here, but spiritually. They followed you just to get your blessings. And if they made it so you didn't get it in that lifetime, well, congratulations, because you're going to keep being reborn until you get this. All right? It doesn't matter if you had 5 lifetimes, 10 lifetimes, 20 lifetimes. It's going to happen until you get it. Until you choose to make these certain decisions differently. Okay? This is someone who really, the biggest joke of all, I feel like it was like a big smack in the face. They were under the biggest illusion by the devil that they have the power to control your fate. Right? Now, this is the only reason why this was possible, because this person, I feel like this person had to have had some sort of influence over you, like a mother figure, or if not your mother figure, then a mother figure, or someone who's just very, I'm getting like Black Widow energy, or like they hang around people for the things that they have, and then they influence them, so that way it benefits them. Because they're too lazy. This is someone who like backpacks off of other people's success or money, or they go out and like they find rich friends and they influence. It's so weird. It's something like that. I don't know. Anyways, 4 of Pentacles reverse. Jesus Christ. You let go of this person. You had to. You had to have had let go of them. You did. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in this energy. You let go of this person. This person is now in your past. And I do feel like they don't understand how far in your past they are. This karmic woman, this karmic mother figure, this karmic empress in reverse, she really, really feels like she can have her way with you by pulling on your heartstrings. But she doesn't understand they're not there. They don't exist. You could be crying. I can't. I haven't eaten. My children, my leg, my home, my house. I can call help for you. Do you need... There's a shelter down the street. Right? None of that is going to work to you. It's not going to work for you. Whatever influence this person had on you, it's gone. You had to make that decision to let them go. With the 4 of Pentacles reversed, you let them go. This person cannot let you go. You let them go. This is not one-sided. This is unrequited. Unrequited obsession, unrequited partnership, unrequited love, unrequited friendship. Whatever this is not one-sided. This woman feels like, no, the collective. I still have a hold on the collective. And you're like, who? Collective where? Not me. This is someone who can't let you go. They're going to do everything in their power to have some sort of emotional pull on you. That doesn't exist. It's not there anymore. It's not there. You let them go. You willingly. You chose. This is what you wanted. This is what you chose. You chose this. You chose to let them go. They're the ones that can't let you go. They're the ones that want to hold on to you for your materials, your possessions, for greed. They're holding on to you for greed. Okay? That's why it says protect your blessings. This is an empress. How are you an empress and you don't have an empire? You're an empress. You're calling yourself an empress. You don't have your own home. You don't have a car. You don't have a job. You don't have a title. You don't even have a couch to sleep on. And you want to call yourself an empress. Where is your empire? You don't even have a studio apartment. Where is your empire? And you want to be an empress so bad? You call yourself an empress? I'm an empress. You don't have 2 nickels to rub together. Okay, the empress she's got a castle, she's got a mansion, she's got a throne, a bejeweled throne. She's got pillows, right? She's making things, she's creating things, she's pregnant, she's got finances, she's got luxury, she's got everything she could ever want, everything she could ever need. Materials, emotionals, spirituals, financials, resources. She's the empress. What? She's the empress. How are you gonna call yourself an empress and you don't even have $5 in your pocket? That's why they're holding on to you. Can I borrow $5? This is that. This is a beggar. This woman is gonna come around and beg. This woman has been following you around for a long time. This woman cannot let you go. Yo, there's something so, like, very dark inside this woman. Lack of originality. I'm getting the movie. I talked about this movie before called The Roommate. It's got Leighton Meester in it. And she was roommates with this girl. And then she started copying the girl's hairstyle. And at first it seemed like, oh, we have the same hairstyle. It's cute. Haha, right? We're friends. And then she copied the girl's necklace. And it was very triggering because the necklace was a very particular necklace that meant very... It was like a symbolic, right? It was very symbolic to the original girl, right? The first girl, the original girl, right? So when she saw that, it was like, okay, something's off. Like, there's something off about this girl. And then she started, like, befriending her friends and dressing like her and talking like her, right? This is a copycat. This woman who's been following you around is a copycat. She's your copycat. How are you going to call yourself an empress but you don't even have a throne? You're going to point to the real empress and say, haha, you don't have a throne. And everyone's like, the empress is literally sitting in a throne, right? And here you are trying to, like, you don't even have anything to stand on. You don't have any stability, and you're laughing at somebody who has stability. That's what's so crazy about this person. It doesn't make any sense, right? This is someone who's not all there. Like, well, I mean, it makes sense because they're, like I said, they were in a delusion, right? This is someone who's very delusional. They feel like they have this power. They don't. They never did. This was never theirs. This power is borrowed. This magic is not theirs. The blessings are yours, right? Their mind is gone. It's just Eight of Pentacles reverse. This is whatever this woman is doing. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. This is someone who's, I feel like at this point, they're doing something very recklessly, too. Very careless. They're not paying attention to what they're doing. They're not. This is very unrequited. It's like, it's very... You might have to get a restraining order on this woman. Right? This is someone who will kill, steal, and destroy to get what you have. Right? Because that's how bad they want it. This could have been someone who you grew up very rich and you're bound to have this inheritance, right? Let's do this other story. Let's do it like this. Alright? Let's say you have two loving parents, right? Doing well for themselves. And because of that, you're very secured, financially secured. You have this inheritance, right? Not just financial, but you have this love, you have this wisdom, you have this guidance that you have this now. You have all of this, right? Then you have this person who's been watching you, envious because they come from a very dysfunctional family. Dad's abusive, mom's an alcoholic, can't pay the bills, you know, roof's leaking, bad part of the town, right? But I'm getting there's something similar about you. It could be you look somewhat similar, maybe, okay? Whatever it is, but this person feels like because their life is just very unfair, it's not fair for them. They see you, well, that's not fair. I'm gonna take that. That's not fair. I'm gonna take that. That's what I'm getting. They feel like they have the right to take this just because they want it. I'm getting Velvet and Veneer from Trolls. They were having a conversation. And Velvet was talking to her brother Veneer, and she was like, "You mean to tell me that we're gonna stop all the work that we've done to get everything that we think that we deserve just because we want it?" When she said that, I started laughing hysterically because that's really how this woman is thinking. That's how people be thinking. And then her brother says, "No, I think you're right. I do think that we should have everything we want, and you know, just because we feel like we deserve it." right? You got two dummies, both agreeing to their own delusions. You got this. It's like you got this demon that's hyping up this delusional person, and this delusional person is like agreeing. It's like you got two dummies agreeing on their delusions, right? This is literally what that is. Like, nothing around this Empress in reverse is clear. It's not. It's very. It doesn't make sense. It's very. It's like confusing. It's just what? Huh? Because this person, they don't even make sense. This is someone who, when they talk and they open their mouth, they're like, wait, what? They don't make sense. You hear that? Seven of Swords reverse, Ten of Wands upright. Yeah, since you caught this person, you've seen them for who they are. It just created a lot of, like, they can't see. They're too burdened to see anything. You seeing them for who they really are, you seeing who the culprit was in your energy, it just made things 10 times harder for this person. No pun intended, because it's the Ten of Wands upright, right? The Seven of Swords reverse. You seeing them and catching them, it's kind of like, thank God, right? But to this person, it's like, it's just, this person is mad at you because they can't steal from you. It's your fault. My fault how? Because if it wasn't for you, then I would have already had your blessing. That was never going to happen. That was never the case, right? If you didn't get it in this lifetime, you're not going to get it in the next lifetime, because you've been chasing the collective for how many lifetimes now, and you still haven't gotten it? You're not putting two and two together? It's because you're never going to get it? Your only role was only to make the collective stronger. That was it. That was your only point and purpose and place. That was it. So I don't know who hyped you up and said, I don't know who the delusional dummy told you, yes, you can do this, right? And you're the other delusional dummy saying, yes, I can do this. It broke too? It's okay, we'll get more, okay? Here, take the orange one. Throw them in the garbage. I keep getting like a delusional dummy. Like, this could be somebody who's talking to herself in the mirror, like feeding into her own delusions and illusions, and like, she must have somehow put a spell on herself thinking that she can do this, because there's just no way someone in their right mind, you see, like, who told you you can take someone else's inheritance that is theirs by blood, by, alright, one more please. Thank you. Death card upright. You could be a Scorpio. This person could be a Scorpio, but we have rebirth and transformation. This was more than just a rebirth. This was like a pivotal point in history, a shift, right? A dimensional realization, right? This was like spanning across multiple places at once. This was something that was like ingrained, spiritually ingrained. This is heavy. All right, this is something that was, it's like a ripple, a shift. You ever see, oh, perfect, thank you, okay. In the movie, The Pirates of the Caribbean, right? She had that, the gold coin that she wore around her neck, right, as a necklace. The pirate's coin, right? The cursed gold of Akates or whatever, right? But she had that. And when she fell into the water, right, when that coin was in the water, it like, that's when everything started changing, because it was like, you can see the effect that it had. It was like a pulse, a wave, right? It was like a pulse, a wave. And because of that, it was like, I don't know, like an alarm system or like a notification or whatever, right? I feel like when you went through this rebirth, this transformation, that's how it was. It was like a ripple that emanated from you outward, a pulse. Alright? That's how heavy this thing is. That's how serious this is. This is not a joke. So whoever this Empress in reverse thinks she is, whatever thinks she can do, whatever she wants to do, here comes the man in black. There are things on standby. Because you're not taking, it's not a joke anymore for you. And it's like, thank God, because now it's like, alright, now we can cut that down, cut this down, get that out of the way, right? It's not a joke. It's not a joke. And maybe at first, right, it was because you weren't taking things seriously. Haha, spirituality, haha, God, haha, my life. Not anymore. Not anymore. Right? You're ending things. Look, karmic debt resolved. End of karmic cycle. Rebirth. Death. The more you cut, slice, and dice things out of your energy, the more it's like there's something about your ranking. Like, it's not to be taken lightly. Okay? Alright, bye.